significant consequence. And as vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do.
And before we talk about policy, can you briefly explain, because I think sometimes there's misconceptions of the power of the president or the power of the vice president. Explain how a bill becomes a law.
Okay. I believe that the best way the system works is when the power is with the people.
One interesting way the Kamala Internet Defense Team tried to skirt accountability and responsibility is to say, well, everything that went bad over the last 4 years is not Kamala's fault because she was only the vice president. And you know, us regular citizens are too dumb to know what a VP is. In the same breath, they say she deserves credit for all the great things that happened over the last 4 years, which again is interesting because we can't hold her accountable for anything bad, but we need to praise her for anything that went well. Because as VP, she was in on the decision making, the last person in the room on all major issues. When she went on all the smoke with Beavis and Butthead of the NBA Circa 2000, Matt Barnes tried to take accountability away from her and instead placed responsibility on Congress. Without one explaining the power of the executive branch and how they got things done through executive orders, every decision is not on Congress. The president and his cabinet, they make major decisions. And the second person in charge is Kamala Harris. She also didn't explain how she's a tie vote in major legislation like the Inflation Reduction Act that's responsible for drastically increasing inflation. She didn't explain that as the VP of the United States, she's got another role as the president of the US Senate. Yeah, that gave her the last word, the last vote on major tie-breaking decisions in Congress. No, she didn't explain the authority that Biden gave her over the border. Remember, in 2021, he appointed her to be over the border. Look how that turned out. She was also supposed to be over police accountability and police reform. She did nothing there either. And we could never forget she was the last person in the room with Biden on Afghanistan. And not just on that situation, but all major issues that Biden faced. She was his partner right there with him and they made those decisions.
Got to lose.
I gotta go, Kim.
I know. He's telling me I gotta go.
I said I'd take a couple questions.
All right, you're the last.
I think she's increasing her credibility.
Take some more. Toulouse, you're going to be the last one.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for spending some time here with us. There have obviously been a number of crises that the country has been facing over the past several days with the hurricane, with the port strike, with the situation in the Middle East. Can you talk about how your vice president, who is running for the presidency, has worked on these crises and what role she has played over the past several days?
Well, I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing. Significant consequence. And as vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do. And so I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
And that right there was probably the most damaging. How are you running as a change candidate when you're admitting that you wouldn't change anything from the last 4 years? The last 4 years where Biden said there was nothing he could do that you couldn't do.
And as vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do.
No, he didn't tie you up and exclude you from decisions. He said he gave you authority by delegating power to you over both foreign and domestic issues.
And so I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy.
Basically, having Kamala after Biden is more of the same. It's not different. He also said that you're performing singing from the same song sheet.
She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet.
which would explain why it took her 2 months to put up policies on her website, only for us to find out majority was a direct copy and paste from Joe Biden's website. Remember when it was exposed that Kamala's site contained metadata linked to Biden's site? She couldn't even come up with her own plan. Her plan is Joe Biden's plan, and his agenda is the same as Barack Obama's. They've been trying to fool everybody, running around for 3 months, acting like the city girl president is new and fresh, a brand new person, a fresh face, talking about how they have to get her to the White House when she's already there and been there for nearly 4 years.
But our supply chains have now improved, and prices are still too high. A loaf of bread costs 50% more today than it did before the pandemic. Ground beef is up almost 50%.
What else are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation?
All right, thank you. Well, let's start with this. Prices have gone up, and families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more. And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up. That's about having to stress and stretch limited resources. That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry.
I would argue we're not really thriving right now. This inflation, which by the way was brought to us by Kamala Harris, has really slowed down people from being able to excel.
By Kamala?
Yes.
Vice president.
Oh, Charlemagne.
It's still the president.
Charlemagne, listen, man. When Joe Biden wanted to do his American Rescue Plan, Kamala Harris was the tie-breaking vote in the United States Senate. She broke the tie that started this inflation that has hurt so many people in our country. Everybody listening to your show. It's not true?
First of all, it's
you sure you want to go there?
Tie-breaking vote.
You sure you want to go there?
Go outside,
What you pulling
when
out?
you go outside.
You sure you want to go there?
district,
Okay, let's go there.
You had it
You
pretty
got
well.
notes.
What I-
You got
what
notes,
I-
Angela, right?
That's fine. I have notes
I'm
too.
gonna give it.
and
I'm gonna give it to
biggest note I
Charlemagne.
have today
I'm gonna give it to Charlemagne.
Is that on
I don't
every
even want to hold
question
it
I've asked,
because
answer.
Angela, hold on now. Go ahead.
For every infrastructure project in your community,
You can go to
should
third
go
page,
out
just the
and
highlighted
thank
portion.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Congress that voted for the American Rescue Plan.
Angela,
That's what should be happening.
Larry Summers wrote an op-ed back in 2021. Larry Summers was the Treasury Secretary for Bill Clinton. He was an economic advisor to Barack Obama. He said that the American Rescue Plan that Joe Biden wanted, that Kamala Harris was the tie-breaking vote in the United States Senate, would create a massive inflation that we have not seen in a generation. Well, guess what? Larry Summers was correct. You know who also was correct, Angela? I was, because I was in the budget committee when they brought the bill. And I said in that committee, it's going to cause massive inflation. That's what happened. So the problem we have in our economy today is that prices have gone up massively. Wages adjusted for inflation is down. People's pocketbooks are hurting. But we have a presidential election in 40 days. So, and I'm gonna ask Envy this question. Envy, you're in the housing business as well. I know because I watch.
Figure out how
I listen to the
Envy's
show.
being interviewed.
No, I'm just asking them a question. Chill, Angela. So I listen to the show. I know you do a lot of business in housing. Would you hire somebody that broke up stuff in one of your houses to fix the other houses?
No.
Exactly. She broke the economy.
I'm
That's
not going to
that's
do
not
this
me.
this morning, Byron.
Why
So
are you not
now
going
you
to do
told
this,
me to
Angela?
chill.
Because I'm
gonna
bringing
tell you
facts.
to chill and
Hold on
actually
now.
try to
So
take a
now
deep
I'm
breath
bringing facts,
and
and you
answer
don't
a
want to do it
question.
no more? Come on now, Angela. That's not right. I'm bringing facts.
so
to you.
back-
I thought
so
we were
back
going to
to
have
the
a
point, 'cause you wanted
fact-based
to bring up-
conversation.
You
I want
wanted
to have a
bring up
fact-based
both.
conversation.
Yeah, not emotions, just real facts. Biden admitted that he's given her authority to make things happen. How do you think we got millions on top of millions of immigrants running into the country? They both allowed this. How do you think the AAPI community got record investment from the Biden-Harris administration? No other administration in history gave more money to the Asians than Biden-Harris. Yeah, that's the help they got outside of those bills. And she did it without Congress. Kamala the cosplaying chameleon, she made sure she was in there looking out for her people while telling black people she wasn't doing anything for us.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
$26 billion alone in 2023 from just 2 programs that Kamala was overseeing. This is the money that went specifically to the AAPI community. But what did we get? Nothing but inflation, high prices, and low home affordability. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Let me know what you think about this below. Special thank you to Roland C. I appreciate you, Roland, for supporting the channel, helping these videos get out, as well as Dark Power and Emmanuel. If you want to show your support for the channel too, you have to use PayPal for now. The link is below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.